Είμαστε στον αέρα.
Hello, everyone. My name is Athens. I'm the president of the Hellenic American Chamber of Commerce, and I'd like to thank everybody for joining us for our event today, Hollywood in Greece. First, I'd like to thank a few people for being here. The mayor of Athens, Kostas Pakogiannis, Professor John Chrysoulakis, who's the Secretary General for Greeks Abroad and Public Diplomacy with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and Dr. Konstantinos Koutras, the Consul General of Greece to New York. We truly appreciate your presence. The program today we're very excited about. It involves the almost universal fascination with movies, film production, and also its connection to the Greek government and their efforts right now to grow that industry in Greece. And so it's a very nice a mix of worlds where you can see where the industry is affecting the cultural atmosphere in Greece, while the government is also working to stimulate the economy. So we're very excited about the program. Thank you very much for joining. I'd like to welcome now and introduce Mr. Petros Doukas. He is the former Deputy Finance Minister of Greece, and he's currently the president of ICC, the International Chamber of Commerce, Hellas, and he's also the mayor of Sparta. So welcome, Mr. Doukas. Thank you very much for being here today.
Dear Atha and dear friends from all over the world, I understand. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed, we had this idea with the Hellenic American Chamber of Commerce to host this very, very interesting event. Just a word about ICC. ICC is based in Paris, and it's a huge international organization with the aim of promoting free trade around the world. The idea is that free trade would also help promote peace among countries. So we're present in over 100 countries. We have a very, very wide network of friends and associates. ICC has the strongest international arbitration system, and that seems to be the most credible. It has a lot of ideas of how to promote women, and the idea is that more women, more prosperity around the world. Very, very interesting happenings like this one today. Now, we're very excited to see how Greece is transforming into an international film center, into a Hollywood itself. And one could ask, why Greece? Well, because we have good cinematographic talent and crews. We're a place where you would like to work as where you would like to vacation. You know, who doesn't want to work in a friendly environment? Who doesn't want to have a work where he would love to vacation? And third, there's a whole good system of various grants. An issue is, and we will talk about that today, whether these grants and these systems of support, fiscal support for filmmakers could be translated into bankable credits, whether one could take this support and be able to obtain loans with which we could use the money to make films. So that's from me. I know we have some outstanding speakers coming up very shortly. And I think this is a start of a very good collaboration between our two teams. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Doukas. And also I'd like to say that this event is designed and produced in conjunction with ICC. They've been, I think we've had a really beautiful partnership, and they've done a tremendous amount of work on this. So we thank them for that, and it's been invaluable. So now I would like to introduce Dr. Konstantinos Koutras, who really needs no introduction. He is the Consul General of Greece in New York, and he has had an amazing career, certainly in New York City, and he's been such a tremendous bridge for Greece to the States, specifically New York, which is probably one of the most important outposts, diplomatic outposts for Greece, and for any country in the world, really. And for us, he's been a great friend and a great supporter And so we really appreciate him coming back and being involved. Thank you very much, Dr. Piperias. Welcome.
Good morning, Athens. Good morning from New York. Good afternoon to Athens, to Greece. Athens, you do know how delighted I am to join you today. It is always a great pleasure to be given the opportunity to talk about initiatives and chances that Greece, our country, can provide. You remember, all you want is Greece was the slogan launched by the National Tourism Organization. And it seems that this tagline is also true for the audiovisual sector in Greece, as correctly said by the mayor of Sparta. And this sector is emerging as one of the most promising investment opportunities in Greece. Athens, the most obvious reason for this development is our country's fascinating and versatile landscape. Greece is a true treat for the senses. It is worldwide known for its stunning islands, glorious sunsets, beautiful beaches, and picturesque villages. But Greece also boasts volcanic rocks, unique rural landscapes, mesmerizing lakes, and mighty mountains. It features medieval castles, Byzantine churches and monasteries, Venetian ports, and whitewashed windmills. Its historical and architectural heritage is ubiquitous. Our country, Greece, is overflowing with natural beauties and cultural references that go way beyond its iconic landmarks. And you do know that very well. It is also worth mentioning, Athens, that Greece is also blessed with something unique which is film-friendly and natural light, which is an additional comparative advantage when it comes to shooting a film. Everybody knows the value of the Greek light when it's to shoot a film. Greece has implemented a legal framework, a solid legal framework to attract foreign investments in the audiovisual sector as well, stipulating strong and competitive financial incentives. As the mayor said before, there's a cash rebate up to 40% for eligible expenses incurred in Greece, which can also be combined with tax exemptions up to 30%. It is also worth noting that these incentives apply not only to film productions, but also animation, TV series, documentaries, and digital games. So a whole bunch of issues. Furthermore, film offices in major regions of Greece, as well in Athens and Thessaloniki and everywhere, are created to facilitate foreign production in Greece. This network, my dear friends, offers guidance and logistical support at local level, catering for a wide range of issues that may arise during the production, from accommodation to permits and all kinds of extras. EKOME has supported more than 125 projects. 127 million euros have been invested and more than 31,000 jobs have been created. Even during the pandemic, there was remarkable audiovisual production in Greece, which was made possible as EKOME remained fully operational. And congratulations for that. This flexibility during the pandemic, as well as the implementation of safety protocols, allowed not only for agreed productions to proceed, but also, this is very interesting, accommodated productions previously scheduled for other destinations. That was crucial. Several high-end productions have been shot in Greece recently or are scheduled to be filmed soon. Just to mention a couple. Greek Freak, featuring the life of Janis, produced by Disney. My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3, directed by Nia Vardalos, and Knives Out 2, starring our dear friend Daniel Craig, to name just a few. Closing. Athens, Greece has it all. It is a safe country with unmatched landscape, invaluable human capital, and a comprehensive legal framework, for all investments. Greek economy is back on track, and this is the moment to invest to the audiovisual industry as well. Especially in the US, this opportunity is not to be missed. Thank you very much, and congratulations for this wonderful initiative.
Thank you very much, Dr. Koutras. It's very exciting to hear. It's very exciting to see Greece make an aggressive push to grow this industry. And now I'd like to introduce the chairperson of this event, Eftichia Pilaridou Piper. She's certainly the main organizer of the event. Of course, I'd like to congratulate Alexandra, our executive director, for helping and for all the work she's done. And it's a tremendous amount of work by Eftichia and Alexandra. Ms. Pilaridou Piper is a member of the executive board of the Hellenic American Chamber of Commerce. And she is the executive liaison to Greece. She does a tremendous amount of work connecting to Greece, the Greek government and professional organizations there. She's organized many successful events in the past, and we're looking forward to many more. Eftichia is well known in Greece as the first female president of a bank in Greece. She was the president of the Hellenic Industrial Development Bank. And throughout her long career, she's held top positions in banking and finance in both the US and Greece. And her career also includes owning an asset management company in Greece and being a manager of a closed-end fund that went public on the Athens Stock Exchange. She's presently a senior vice president at the Red Apple Group in New York, which is one of the largest developers in New York. And she is chief executive of the Internal Audit and Compliance Division. So thank you very much, Eftichia, for everything you've done regarding overall, certainly for this event, and welcome.
Thank you, Athas, for your kind words. Good morning, New York, and Kalispera, good afternoon to our friends in Athens. We have a very exciting and entertaining program with distinguished guests and speakers from the field of audiovisual productions and studio owners, where many new film and TV productions have taken place and will take place in the future. We will touch upon matters of educating our labor force in Greece to rise to the challenge of the growing audiovisual industry. We will play trailers, we will show pictures, and we will use audiovisual techniques in our presentations. So we begin with a full presentation of the activities of the National Center of Audiovisual Media and Communication that will be made by the president of the organization, Mr. Panos Kouanis. And just for your information, going forward, we will be referring to the organization with the abbreviated name EKOME. During the summer, Ms. Alexandra Spirou-Mitsakis, who is the director of the Hellenic American Chamber of Commerce, and myself, had the pleasure of meeting with Mr. Kouanis in his Athens office and learning all about EKOME. It didn't take long to decide that EKOME's work and investment incentives should be communicated to our members and friends, both chambers, the Hellenic American Chamber of Commerce and ICC Greece, International Chamber of Commerce. Alas. I want to thank Mr. Kouanis and Mr. Doukas for their collaboration with us to put together this forum. And now I have the pleasure of introducing Mr. Panos Kouanis. We have connected with his office in Athens, Greece. Good afternoon, Mr. Kouanis. How are you?
Kalimera, kalispera.
Please allow me to introduce you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Kouanis, since 2017, occupies the position of chairman and CEO of EKOME. He has a PhD and a BS from the University of Athens and has a Master's of Science in Broadcasting and Film from Boston University. He has extensive experience in all aspects of the media industry. He also has academic and teaching experience and has published several research papers and has participated in many conferences. Mr. Quinis will present to us what is EKOME, what are the investment incentives in the audiovisual industry, and what has been accomplished up to now. And we will start with a short video. Mr. Quinis, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Well, greetings, everybody. Let me just share the PowerPoint presentation. Is that okay? Well, I am, as Ms. Blarino said, I'm Panos Quinis, the President and CEO of EKOME, the National Center of Audiovisual Media and Communication in Greece, an organization supervised by the Ministry of Digital Governance and the Minister himself, Mr. Karagas. 4 years ago, we embarked on a very adventurous journey. It was difficult and demanding, full of obstacles, but at the same time exciting, and at the end very rewarding, as with hard work, persistence, and perseverance, we managed to accomplish a lot more than we expected in a very short period of time. Our initial plan may have sounded or looked simple, especially in the eyes and ears of an outsider, but for someone who knows our country, it wasn't. What was the idea? To make our country a film-friendly country. What this meant in practice was to create a whole ecosystem, a set of infrastructures that combined operate in harmony and in such a way that reveal the real potential of our country, Greece, what it can offer to its own people, as well as to the producers from all over the world who decide to visit us and honor us with their presence in order to materialize their film or TV production. Today, I am proud, we are actually all proud at EKOME, to say that we have accomplished this task. We have managed to successfully create and constantly test a permanent system that allows the creative industry of filmmaking and storytelling from all over the world to come to Greece and be able to thrive and produce with all the necessary tools in hand. Our aim was to create very attractive incentives and be able to facilitate in the most efficient way producers and production service companies in order to materialize the story in Greece for audiences all over the world to watch and upload. In order to accomplish that, we started with the very basics, as we live in a material world. That's money. But we ended with the most important thing in life, which is, of course, people. Let me elaborate on that. First of all, we provided the industry with a strong and competitive financial incentive. Actually, to be more accurate, we created two. We currently have a very successful cash rebate program of 40% with a cap of 12 million euros and the eligibility of non-resident labor for projects over 8 million euros in Greece. Eligible expenses include above the line up to 35% of the total eligible expenses incurred in Greece, non-resident labor up to 50% of total eligible expenses, and most of the below the line expenses with a few limitations. I won't get into detail for that. Producers may visit our website or get in touch with us, and we are more than willing to provide them with all the necessary information. We also created a tax relief program for potential investors in order to attract private investors in filmmaking that deducts 30% of eligible expenses of a film production from the net taxable income of an individual or a legal entity. The tax relief program may be combined with a cash rebate program and has the same eligible costs. Secondly, we created the basic infrastructure for servicing the production companies coming to Greece. This new service-oriented approach in our country focused on providing tailor-made full services with less bureaucracy in two levels. The first level is the initial service provided by EKOME. we created a central point of communication for the whole application process and implementation of a production in Greece with an easy and fast track process, as both the cash rebate and the tax relief programs operate through an online electronic application system from the very beginning of the initial application before shooting the film to the very end with the payment of the cash rebate or the tax return. It is an easy process made to work for each individual project with basic and simple requirements: the script and the cultural test, the budget and the financial plan, cast and crew information. The Greek cash rebate is highly bankable. It can be used for gap financing and or short-term loans for cash flow of the production. It is co-production friendly, and as it may be combined with other state aid programs up to 80% of the eligible budget, and it is undoubtedly credible, as we have a two-tier auditing system. Your only obligation is to come to Greece, use our locations and people, of course, and mention us in the credits. For that, we have a very, very, very attractive logo at EKOME. We provide producers and public and production service companies with assistance all through the process, and especially in the unfortunate event of changes in the production, which in filmmaking happen very, very, very often. The service provided on location. For that, we cooperate closely with the 13 regions and the 2 key cities, Athens and Thessaloniki, in order to set up and operate the local film offices. Those initial 15 film offices all over Greece provide production service companies and producers with all the necessary information and assistance, a variety of locations depending on the needs of each project, the permits for shooting, local cast and crew, especially extras, accommodation, transportation, and catering issues. Our aim is to provide guidance and a highly personalized service with confidentiality from a team of experts on location. And that is for any kind of budget, low, medium, or high. We value all productions coming to our country. Our third action was to promote more actively our assets, which is the fact that Greece is a natural studio. The country is an incomparable, natural, and diverse set, unique, accessible, and above all, friendly. Greece offers a variety of options that serve your story, plus the continuous help from local people. With magnificent coastlines, volcanoes, sand dunes, waterfalls, snow-capped mountains, tropical forests, ancient sites, historical monuments, industrial buildings, urban, rural, ancient, medieval, classical, modern, unbelievably one of the richest cultural heritages in the world. All easy to reach within 1 hour drive from coast to mountain. Greece has 6,000 islands, from which only 227 are inhabited. We have 53 airports, 42 civilian and 11 military, a complete and regular network of maritime transport and train connection in the mainland from north to south, east to west. Add to all of the above the well-known traditional Greek hospitality, the fact that Greek people by definition are open-hearted, warm, and helpful, and you have the perfect location. Another very important parameter is the fact that Greece has highly qualified, experienced film professionals and state-of-the-art facilities. We have experienced, specialized, and skilled professionals in all the stages of film production: crew, talent such as actors, dancers, extras, production companies, sound stages, VFX, post-production companies, sound design, dubbing, subtitling, equipment rental. And in order to secure that, we constantly support the implementation of various professional training programs. Finally, our country offers one of the safest and most secure environments to materialize your projects. To be more specific, according to the latest biennial travel and tourism competitiveness report, published by the World Economic Forum in Geneva, Greece is one of the safest countries in the world, ranked higher than all of its neighbors, the Balkan countries, Turkey, Italy, North Africa, the Middle East, even countries like UK, like France, like Germany, China, India, and Russia. And this is not the only index. The same high ranking we have at the Global Peace Index of the Institute for Economics and Peace, and the best country reports by Wharton and the US News. Even with the latest crisis of the pandemic, since last March, Greek people sacrificed a lot so that the country may be able to come out of the crisis with a minimum casualties and losses. And we succeeded. It is not by accident the fact that since June 2020, when film production resumed in Greece, we had a huge rise in international productions coming to Greece for shooting. Both the government and the Greek people managed to successfully handle the crisis, and that provided both to local and international productions a healthy and safe environment. As we are now approaching the end of 2021 and the pandemic crisis is still evident all over the world, we keep taking all the necessary measures in order for film productions to operate under the safest possible environment. So for all of the above reasons combined, Greece is the ideal destination for your next production. As I conclude my presentation, I would like to invite you to come closer to us, to get to know us and what we have to offer both as a country and community of filmmakers, to you and your project, your story, and how we can make it together, not only better, but in any way unique. And so it is. Thank you very much for listening to me. Σας ευχαριστώ πολύ.
Mr. Panis, you also had a little video you wanted to play?
Yes, we have a short video from a production. Exactly.
Could we have that, please?
The way EKOME does things is not a matter of incentives. It's a matter of perspective. Innovative, fresh, and dynamic. EKOME introduces the Greek audiovisual industry. EKOME invites growth and investment. Learn our incentives for potential investors. 75 million euros in cash rebate. 150 audiovisual projects. 37,000 employees. Expanding personnel education. Lifelong training. Promoting media and information literacy for all. Countless versatile locations. Creation of a national film offices network. 15 film offices across Greece. Preserving cultural heritage through the digitization of archives. More than 150 million invested in production works. Film Office Network Greece, always open even during the pandemic.
Mr. Kwanis, you have given us a very, very informative presentation about the EKOME's activities and achievements up to now. Allow me to ask one question that comes to my mind. What is next, both for the industry and EKOME?
Well, that's a good question. Well, the thing is that the audiovisual industry in Greece is a rapidly growing industry. According to the latest data, only through the financial tools of EKOME, more than 170 projects have been implemented with a total investment in the country that exceeds 250 million euros, creating more than 42,000 jobs. The results are impressive and in a very, very short time. EKOME, as I said, is the public arm of this audiovisual ecosystem. The successful operation of this ecosystem requires a strategy that is constantly reviewed and adapted to a volatile global business environment, and at the local level depends beyond the cultural peculiarities of our country, of course, on the strength and effectiveness of political leadership, the policies applied in relation to entrepreneurship, the possibilities of providing adequate financing to companies, the quality of human capital, the friendly venture capital markets, and a number of institutional and support infrastructures. The continuous cooperation of EKOME with the Supervising Ministry of Digital Governance created the necessary institutional framework for the implementation of a modern business ecosystem through the enactment of the necessary laws and the implementation of pioneering tools such as the cash rebate and the tax relief. The secret of the success of these tools was and remains the constant monitoring of the competition abroad and the cooperation with the foreign domestic production companies that implement the projects in Greece, so that these financial tools are constantly adapted and the relevant processes are improved. This support of the state became even more visible with the sufficient financing of the incentives through the public investment program with 75 million euros until 2022, while their successful operation results in the strengthening of this financing for the following years. But to create a modern business ecosystem, financial incentives for production are not enough. There has to be specific interventions that are needed in order to create, first of all, a sound and modern companies producing audiovisual works. Most companies in the sector are small and medium-sized enterprises with inability to finance their working capital and with very limited business potential. The first problem tends to be solved with the gradual familiarization of Greek banks with the peculiarities of our sector and the creation, of course, of the Loan Guarantee Fund for audiovisual production companies by the Hellenic Development Bank. The latter can be overcome only with continuous vocational training, the empirical knowledge also from the contact of those companies with international and especially high-value productions, and the adaptation of their administrative structures to the needs of a modern international business environment. The second is a permanent infrastructure for production with new modern technical equipment, which will increase the footprint of our creative industries in the country's GDP. Our country lacks infrastructure that can serve the requirements of high-value international productions, such as studios with large sound stages. The new investment law of the Ministry of Development and the various financing programs created by the government, I believe that can be the vehicle for attracting investments in these directions. Also, adequate number of employees to meet the ever-increasing demand, experienced professionals who can serve in the best possible way the production of high-value audiovisual works in our country. Greek professionals must acquire higher specialization and greater visibility in the relevant market. In this direction, EKOME from the beginning cooperates with both Greek and foreign companies for the creation of internship programs in order to train young professionals. It also supports the implementation of various continuing educational programs for professionals in the field. Also, as we said before, local infrastructure throughout the country, service hubs for the audiovisual productions in the regions and the two major municipalities, Athens and Thessaloniki. The film offices strengthen the brand name of the region and our country as they are a one-stop shop for servicing film and TV series. EKOME has secured 5 million euros from the public investment program for the implementation of this project and is cooperating in this direction with all the involved stakeholders. Last but not least, a more effective system of support and access of domestic productions to the international distribution and exhibition markets. This presupposes, first of all, a high level of understanding of the international markets, as audiovisual content is produced and distributed in many forms. Technological developments, the recent pandemic crisis, and the consequent change in consumer behavior have led not only companies, but also most countries in Europe, America, and the rest of the world to review their policies regarding the way and means of distribution of audiovisual works. To conclude, ensuring the continuous financing of investment incentives, improving the services provided in our country, adapting to the ever-increasing demands of the international markets, and adopting practices that ensure the increase of jobs and the strengthening of the competitiveness of industry professionals and entrepreneurship in Greece are in the center of our strategy here at the EKOME. Every day we work systematically for the promotion of our country as an attractive and safe destination for the implementation of audiovisual productions. And in order to succeed in that, we need constant cooperation and consultation between the state, businesses, and industry professionals.
It seems like you thought of everything for the future of EKOME and how to address the needs for the growth of audiovisual industry. So we thank you very much for all the work that you do to promote the investments in Greece. And we also thank you for your collaboration to put this forum together with the Hellenic American Chamber and of Commerce and the International Chamber of Commerce, ICCLS.
I thank you for giving me the opportunity to pass the message.
Our pleasure. For the audience's information, Mr. Kouanis will be standing by throughout the whole event to answer any questions that might be left unanswered at the end. So we thank you, Mr. Kouanis, and we move on to our next presentation, with a short video from the Athens Film Office and continue with a message from the Mayor of Athens.
Allez, smile.
Dear friends, I'm proud to say that Athens has dynamically entered the entertainment industry, and yes, aspires to become one day, and why not, the European Hollywood. Now, if this sounds too ambitious, you should know that we shall not compromise with anything less, because we want to reach this high goal. And yes, we have a vision, but we also have a concrete plan at the same time. Not wishful thinking, but projects. Not general ideas, but concrete actions. And the Athens Film Office, the newly found Athens Film Office, is the ideal tool. It is an instrument that contributes to the attraction of international productions. Filming in Athens has exponential benefits for the city. What are the gains, you may wonder, what are the gains for the city of Athens? First of all, the support of all the professionals involved. Professionals who are based in the city of Athens. They benefit either directly through their participation in production, and I'm thinking of hotels, of shops, of restaurants, of car rental agencies, or indirectly through the promotion of the city around the world. Secondly, the employment of dozens and dozens of people in services, but also of hundreds and hundreds of people in production. Please allow me to bore you a little bit with some numbers. According to a relevant study by EKOME, that is the Greek Foundation for Economic and Industrial Research, the direct contribution of these productions to the economy, and I'm referring to cinema, television, or advertising, has been 108 million euros so far. The overall effect on GDP has been 686 million euros, supporting more than 12,000 jobs. Yep, 12,000 jobs. Especially as far as international productions are concerned, investments of 25 million euros can maintain, during filming, more than 755 jobs in total. Now, 223 of the jobs have to do with sectors directly involved in the production, increasing in turn GDP by 39 million euros at the same time. During 2020 and in the course of 2021, so far, despite the pandemic, the Athens Film Office has assisted the coordination and implementation of 40 Greek and foreign productions. The most emblematic of them are Tehran, which is shown on Apple TV, the advertising campaign of Piperias and the film Greek Freak, which is actually produced by Disney, which of course relates around the life of the amazing NBA star Janis Antetokounmpo. And in the second semester of 2021, the second season of Tehran, which is ongoing, with the one and only Glenn Close as its guest star. Jack Ryan, the TV series by Amazon of Blonde Productions, has been completed. Moreover, a film by David Cronenberg has been completed, produced by Argonautas SA and starring Viggo Mortensen, Kristen Stewart, and Lee Seydoux. Whereas a new film of Nina Vardalos, which is produced by Faliro House, has already been planned for 2022, at the same time, the production of a large online platform has already been scheduled. Has already been scheduled for 110 days of filming in Athens, which is almost 4 months. We should keep in mind, at the end of the day, one number. Production companies have spent more than 60 million euros in the services market in Athens. Why is this happening? The original urban landscape is there. The sky of Attica with its unique colors, Athens with its beauties and all its contradictions, the city with this realistic, sometimes I'd say even harsh appearance, but also with its inconsistencies, with its modern parts, but also with streets that seem stuck in the past, something that directors actually love, with its multicolored and coming from different periods building stock, with the past, but mainly with its present, and I would add, with its future. Because we highlight and praise the past, but at the same time, we also forge that future, and we forge it all together. Here in Greece, when we speak about the future, we are accustomed to referring to a period of time until the next elections. As we plan the future, however, we have to mind the next generations of our citizens. So please allow me one more last thought. We will always have Paris, is the classic line of Humphrey Bogart in the legendary Casablanca. We want films and series that cry out, we will always have Athens. We want the productions to think about our city, your good look, wearing my future. So Athens should and ought to be in the foreground. Athens of the big and small screen, Athens of international productions and advertising. Extroverted Athens, the city of classic but everyday culture at the same time. Athens of respect for individual rights, respect for every person living or working in the city, regardless of color, of gender, of nationality, or regardless of any other characteristic. A city of quality, a welcoming city for the ordinary visitor and not only for the investor. A cosmopolitan Athens, a birthplace of the cinematographic world.
I want to thank the mayor of Athens, and since I was not given an opportunity to introduce him, I'd like to say a few words from his CV. Kostas Bakoyannis, besides being the mayor of Athens, has served as governor of Central Greece from 2014 to 19, and as mayor of Karpenisi from 2011 to 14. He's a graduate of the Milford School in UK. He has a BS from Brown University in History and International Relations, and has completed postgraduate studies in public policy at Harvard's John F. Kennedy School of Government. He also holds a PhD in political science and international relations from the University of Oxford. He has worked at the Greek Ministry of Foreign Affairs and as executive manager in the private sector in Athens. He has also held positions in the European Parliament in Brussels and the World Bank in Kosovo. He's a council member of the European Council on Foreign Relations and a Greek Leadership Council member of the United Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network. He has served in Greek Special Forces as a paratrooper. So at this point, I'd like to thank Mayor Bakoyannis again for his participation in our forum. And I'd like to wish him success in his vision, as he described it to us, for Athens to be a quality city for its citizens, a welcoming, vibrant, and cosmopolitan city, and also the birthplace of the cinematographic world. We're going to take a couple of minutes break to prepare for our next panel, which is going to be about testimonials, the producers and actors' perspective, and will be presented by Mr. Doukas, who I'm going to present to you as soon as we come back. Thank you. Welcome back. Now we're going into our next panel, testimonials, the producers and actors' perspective. I have the pleasure to introduce to you the moderator of the next panel, Mr. Petros Doukas, the president of ICC Hellas and mayor of Sparta. Petros Doukas has a very long CV, but it can be found on our site. But let me mention that Petros is an ex-banker, a former member of the Greek Parliament, and a former Deputy Minister of Finance and Foreign Affairs. I had the pleasure of working with him many, many years ago when I was the president of the bank and he was Deputy Minister of Finance. Petro has a PhD in economics from New York University, an MBA from Columbia, an MA in economics from New York University, and a BA in international affairs from the George Washington University. And I think now that it's time for me to give the floor to Petros Doukas to continue with his panel of successful producers, directors, and actors who will share with us their experiences of producing movies in Greece. Petro, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ftihia. Many thanks, actually. For our first panel, we have some outstanding speakers giving us their testimonial about and their perspectives as producers on on Greece as a potential strong filming center and the type of incentives that they have actually had experience with. I will start introducing my friend Joseph Saman, who's outside Greece right now. He started his involvement in the media industry more than 35 years ago. He's the founder of Tanweer Group, a multinational media company with many activities, including but not limited to film and TV content distribution, film production, post-production studios, cinema exhibition, and VR entertainment in territories such as Greece and Cyprus, Middle East, Turkey, the Gulf region, Egypt, India, and Southeast Asia, and more. Tanweer's stellar reputation across all territories is mainly attributed to the successful strategic alliances and partnerships with major companies of the entertainment business, including Warner Brothers, Disney, Universal Studios, Fox, Discovery International, and many more. Tanweer's first film production was the sixth most successful Greek film in the box office, Ftihia. And since then, Joseph Samon and Tanweer have committed to creating quality and high standard content, with the most recent example, the film Smyrna, My Beloved, a production of Hollywood standards with the largest budget in Greek history, and to help making Greece an international hub for audiovisual content creation. Joseph has excellent personal and professional relationships with the leading Hollywood, Bollywood, and European media companies. Next in our panel is Jelena Popovic. Is a Serbian-American actress, writer, director, and producer. She wrote and directed Man of God, starring Mickey Rourke and the 2013 New York Film Festival Audience Award winner, LA Superheroes. Popovic produced Monday Nights at 7, starring Edward James Olmos, through her company Simeon Entertainment, and has several other active projects in development, including Dead Serious, Greta Garbo, and Moses the Black. She studied at Playhouse West, an industry-recognized premier acting school and training ground for actors, writers, and directors, founded by Robert Carnegie and Jeff Goldblum. Alexandros Porter served for 5 years and as an executive at IM Global, a world-leading entertainment company with core business in film and television sales, financing, production and distribution, and music publishing, where he was responsible for the financial structuring, negotiations, and successful closing of over 20 feature films with budgets ranging from 1 to 80 million. Alexandros Porter was previously an executive at Grosvenor Park LP, a dedicated 100 million film fund backed by the Fortress Investment Group. Alexander Porter co-founded Neovod, the first direct-to-consumer online movie SVOD service in Greece, and co-founded Simeon Entertainment, a finance, production, and distribution company behind the 2013 New York Film Festival Audience Award winner LA Superheroes, Monday Nights at 7, starring Edward James Olmos, and former UFC middleweight champion Anderson Silva, and Man of God, starring Mickey Rourke and Russian superstar Alexander Petrov, which debuted its theatrical run in Greece at record box office levels. Porter is an entrepreneur and a film producer actively involved in both the creative and business aspects of filmmaking. Dorothea Mercury is an actress and model and a Greek goddess. She's the first child of an Italian art dealer and a Greek mother, raised in Calabria, then soon after her teenage years in Athens, where she worked as an accomplished model for main companies and a cover girl since the 90s. Dorothea has lived a big part of her life in New York, where she studied acting in the Lee Strasberg Theater Institute and had her 2 children at an early age. As a young girl, she was a student of classical ballet and continued to practice studies of dance. She's fluent in 5 languages: Italian, Greek, English, French, and Spanish. What a crowd we have here with us. Joseph, I think we're going to start the 2 of us together. You've done a super work. Ευτυχία was a blockbuster, and it appears that Smyrna Agapimeni will also be a blockbuster. What has your experience been so far in filming Smyrna and the relationship with the Greek government and the incentives that the Greek government has provided? Is it something you're satisfied with? Are things moving smoothly along? Is there something you would suggest to the government to help improve? Because they do want to help filmmakers do the right job in Greece. The floor is yours, Joseph.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, the team. Thank you, Ευτυχία. Thank you all, George, for arranging this conference. And I hope that we will do more conferences to come with a little bit more time and more input from various sectors in this industry, because I do believe that Greece has the potential to become a hub for content production. Greece has a potential to become, in a few years, if all of us, including the government, hand by hand, we work together, to become the Hollywood of Europe. Why Greece? Many people ask why Greece. First, of course, we have a very good rebate system. 40% rebate. It's quite interesting. And it is now, all the documents are becoming digital. So though I will put like another note later on, what could be improved into the system of the rebate. Of course, again, why Greece? Greece, it's an open studio. Wherever you go in Greece, whatever you want in the world, you find it in Greece. The island, the sea, the mountains, the climate, 330 days per year, full sunshine, and very friendly Greek people. Greek people are really very friendly. I've heard it from many people who come and shot their films in Greece. They were welcomed wherever they want, all over Greece. And apart from that, most of the people speak English. I don't want to name other countries, let's say in Europe, but if you travel in many countries in Europe, it's hardly to find, apart from UK, it's hardly to find people, and mainly young generation, who speak English fluently. And this is a big, I believe, it is a big help for people who come here to shoot their film in Greece. Greece has also monument. Wherever you go in Greece is an open museum. You want to shoot museum, monument, you can find it everywhere. You want even to take subject, IP, from the Greek history, from the Greek mythology. It's a limitless. So, in my opinion, Greece has a lot of potential to become a real hub for content. Now, we talk about, before I go to Smyrna, tell me, please, if I go over the time so I can start to be more limited.
Joseph, before we go to Smyrna, and we'll show a very small film there, what has your experience been with the incentives? Do they work for you? Is it something that you are comfortable with?
The incentive, they work, really, they work. And we have been like Ευτυχία, we have been paid it took some time. But what I would like to ask our friends into the EKOME, and who are very helpful and very willing really to improve and do better, it's like still we have to present physical document, which means for every single invoice, for every single paper needed, contract, etc., you have to make copies and copies and copies and send it to the administration, which I believe now with the government will and to go toward digitization of all the administration and the procedure, we should eliminate this document. We should eliminate to make copies of the contract and the invoices. So at the end of the day, if you have a big film, you end up by boxes of documents that you have to supply to EKOME. While nowadays, you can do it digitally, which is much more simple and much more effective, I believe. So this is one of the things that we can work with the government, with EKOME, to make it better and easier. The second one is I know that now that between Hellenic Development Bank and between the Ministry of Digital, they have created a system to pre-cash the rebate, but still it is limited, of limited amount, probably is around 900,000. If it could go higher, it will help to attract more and more film producers to Greece. So this is one of the I think obstacles, little bit, or way to improve the filming and content in Greece. Another one, which is developing the infrastructure, and mainly the human infrastructure. We need more. I mean, now if we have like few Greek production, few international production, we cannot really support more at the same time. We need really more expert teams. And that's where I call for our friend at EKOME and for us all as producers, maybe also the television in Greece, to join forces, all of us, and create a workshop in Greece to attract the talent, the new talent, the people, the engineers that are, or the talent that are graduated from university, and train them and open them the opportunity to become well trained and supply our industry with new fresh blood. And also this workshop could be very useful for the existing crew, the existing technician, the existing talent in Greece to improve their knowledge with the new technology and to improve their qualification. So,
okay, Joseph, I know you're very excited about Smyrna Magapimeni, Smyrna, my beloved. Could we see a couple of pictures of it?
Yes, a couple of pictures. Yes, of course. I love it. It's a film.
You're very excited, and I know you're very pleased with the ROI of the film. Yes, excellent.
Yes, indeed. It is a long story. We started a few years ago. Maybe if you want to project now.
Yes, now is the time. If we can play it.
Yes. Okay. So we started first. It was not easy to handle such subject and being very objective, not to enter into a political situation, not at all. It's a story, emotional story of people, Greek people who was living there, and they went through this catastrophe where their city was burned, and they have to leave the country at such a situation, nowhere to go, where they don't know where to go in the world, refugees. It was a human catastrophe.
Okay. George, can we have the film? Could we have the pictures? Or should we move on? Can we play the
pictures
picture
of
we have from Smyrna. Yeah, coming up.
May I continue a little bit while you are trying to put the pictures? Shall I continue while you are trying to put
Joseph, continue for 1 minute, please, because we need to move and then we all get back together. So we have a time constraint now. And,
okay. The big challenge was, first, the subject is so challenging. It's a subject of national interest. And I know you want me to go even faster, but I will try. We have, the challenge was also we wanted to build, and as you can see in the picture, hopefully now, how we build the facade of Smyrna and we build the port of Smyrna in order to make it so true. Such film, one of the, as our friend mentioned, Petros Lucas, that it's one of the highest budget film in the history of Greece.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We're moving on and we'll get back together, Joseph, with Yelena Popovic. Yelena, what has your experience been? You've done some very interesting stuff with the Man of God, with the Mickey Rourke. Now, how do you see this Greece becoming a filming hub developing? And have you had any direct experience? Is it something that you would look forward to? Any projects in mind?
Well, I must say that I came to Greece 6 years ago to make this film, and I've stayed in Greece. I agree with Mr. Saman. He's spoken in a lot of detail about a lot of things that I must say I cannot but just say I agree with him. And I, for myself, being a creative force, not so much the financial or but I can say that my experience was I can honestly say all the best. I was very well received. People were extremely professional. Everybody worked. I had a great energy on the set. People are. It's not only they're professional, but you also have a great support. And I mean, listen, we worked in the middle of pandemic on top of everything. It was extremely challenging on that level. But with everybody's help and hard work, we managed to pull through. So I can only say, and to just reiterate again what Mr. Saman already said, that Greece has all the locations that in the world. I think Greece definitely can become, and it should be, a place where we can bring international productions to make the films or other TV shows. Or I think it's one of the best, definitely, if not the best locations in the world. And as he mentioned, the sunshine and wonderful people. So I for me, this was like the whole thing was like a miracle. I came here, I mean, to make the film. It happened. So I don't know if I'm a little bit biased because I love Greece so much, but I can honestly recommend it to everybody. It was a fantastic experience.
And Alexandre, you're of the same mind. I assume you have a very impressive career in the film business. How do you see this Greek effort developing and the Greek incentives? I understand that it's one thing to give an incentive. The other is how bankable an incentive is. If you can take it to a bank and against this incentive, this grant from the government, this rebate, can be discounted by the bank to provide working capital financing. Have you had any experience so far with the system? Is the system something you're looking forward to work with?
Yeah, so thank you, Petros. I came to Greece. I've been working here since 2015. 2016, and I know the EKOME program, if I'm not mistaken, started off end of 2018, and I think they've done, Panos Kouanis and his team have done a fantastic job at shaping the program. And getting it from, initially they started off with, again, if I'm not mistaken, it was 25% cash rebate, and they very quickly ramped it up to 40% within the first 6 months, 6 to 8 months. And so they've been very proactive at building this program, making it a robust program for producers, for international producers, and so there's a process, and I think they've achieved and have been very successful in achieving that. I've personally, on the film Man of God, we have a cash rebate, and we've worked diligently with them together, hand in hand, in getting all of that done. So to go back to your question about bankability and things like that, I mean, obviously, my personal experience is we were sort of early comers, and we were sort of trailblazers. I would say we were sort of some of the first to be approved in the program, and so all I can say is that as a when you talk to financiers or banks that are in the business and that are specialized in financing cash rebates, international cash rebates, their question is always, first, has the program been proven? Meaning, has money been paid out? Has it been paid out on time? And is there a way for the cash rebate program and the Audiovisual Center to sign that cash rebate to us as a security? And so all of these things and all of these details are being addressed by Panos and his team, and so I believe that Greece is a fantastic program, is offering a fantastic program. Apart from obviously the locations are important, and sort of the sets, etc. From a financial perspective, 40% cash rebate is massive, especially in this day and age. So you don't have many places that offer 40% cash rebates. So why not come to Greece? And you have fantastic crews, very professional crews. You have the locations, and you have a working program that gives back the cash that you've spent, for your film.
And would you have any plans for new filming in Greece? And could we see the trailer, brief trailer of Man of God, George, if it's available? It's online.
We cannot take the risk of him becoming a patriarch. He consorts with harlots on the streets. I know it is hard for you to believe that he can be a Judas, but it's true, Your Holiness.
I'm not even sure about his good heart.
You think that you can come here and pretend to be holy?
I'm starting to think that you're not human.
You seem to be the real deal. No wonder they don't like you.
We will demand Patriarch Sophronie to be removed and place you in his position.
Get out.
I understand why the people of Egypt love you. We had you here for a short time and you've performed miracles.
You're a holy man, Your Grace. I lost my eyesight due to illness when I was very little. There is so much light in your presence.
We feel that you don't exercise enough authority.
A healthy balance between kindness and authority is best.
Where is the evidence of my crime? An accusation that condemns me to a moral death.
If it had been done to me, what has been done to you, I would not go to church anymore.
Holy Man of God, will you please pray for me?
The position of power is like a cancer. It eats at you, slowly. I wish I would have faith.
Father, why don't you say something?
It's not enough that you are trying to persuade everyone in here to become a priest. Now you're grooming nuns from here too? What are you doing with these women?
Why are you doing this?
Refrain from coming here!
My body may be withering away, but my
You have an opening, I understand, in Moscow and had in Belgrade, so you're keeping very, very busy. I need to turn to Dorothea. If you have any experiences so far, is this something developing Greece into a major film center, something that excites you? You're talking to people that are in the production. And on studio development, because we need Joseph, we need very big studios to get where we think we deserve we can be, given the incentives that EKOME is providing. So what is your feeling so far, Dorothea?
Hi, thanks for inviting me. I'm very glad to meet everybody. I wanted to talk a little bit regarding, I have experience working in Italy because I'm half Italian, in Cinecittà, because a lot of productions go there because of the studios. They have that studio that really helps. And the fact that a lot of people don't speak English, it's a problem actually, which is what Mr. Seymour was talking about. And Greece does have that potential. Everybody speaks the language. So everybody, even, you know, the that makes the coffee. So that helps a lot. It's a grand deal of help because Italians don't speak English, but they do have the brand name. They have the Cinecittà brand name. And the other thing that I was thinking while you were all talking, I was filming in Prague at one point for an American production, and it was so cold. It was so cold. I was like, it would have never been that cold in Greece, for example. I mean, -10, standing in the, I couldn't even talk at one point in the middle of the night. I couldn't even like say the line. And Greece doesn't have that cold, that kind of cold, unless you're like in the mountains. And my experience with Francesca, with the film, which actually I have to make it clear, it's a pilot for a TV series. So this film will be presented, you know, in Los Angeles, so that fundings may come in, so that we actually film it as a TV series. And I mean,
So in which language?
In English.
It will be in English.
The movie's in English, apart from some scenes with my girlfriend, throw some Greek here and there. And we filmed it in Hermione, in this incredible location, this beautiful house. So the location was just stunning. The director chose a Greek director of photography, a young guy who did an amazing job. He was just so excited to do this project. And that's what makes it also very special, that there are a lot of young people like in their 20s and their 30s that are incredibly talented, that are coming back to Greece. And, you know, maybe they studied in America or in England, and they come back and they have incredible knowledge, and they want to do it, they want to make it, and that helps. And also what I agree with everything Mr. Joseph Salmon says regarding that the one thing that I think that needs to be done, even though I'm just an actress and I'm just a creative, but I get involved with everything. If I can be of help, I try to help, especially when there are foreigners coming here. I, for example, said to Chasin, to the director, why don't we film a little scene of him going to the open air cinema in a city, in Athens, which is just an incredible location. And you know how they are, Americans. They're like, yes, let's do it. Let's go for it. Let's just put this extra scene in. And that I think that needs to be done. For example, we can, put more of what is available here, not just what people think Greece is, because there are some some places and locations that they have no clue. If somebody is, in the US, and so that can be sort of like, it can be like a strong suit for people to come here, and also working with young people who need to be trained a little bit more, because I am lucky in a way because I lived in the States, so I kind of know how they work there and how kind everybody is, and how everybody is just of service. Because doing this job sometimes it's like I'm being of service to a director, to a team, to a producer, so that we can make this baby born. It's like a baby making a movie all together, and it's like being in a family all together. It's a very precious thing. So in order to keep like the beauty of everybody being together, working together for the movie, I think that we need a little bit of training in Greece, and letting people know that we are here being of service to these people who are coming to this country, and we're giving the best we can and we have, so that we can make it all happen together. It's not that the Americans are coming here and we're working for them. Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes I feel like there is a little bit of that dynamic that needs to sort of calm down. And for the rest, I always tell my friends, just come to Greece, do this movie in Greece. Like they hand me a script, and for example, is for Tuscany, for Italy. I'm like, but we can do this in the Peloponnese. There's olive trees over there, and sort of. Bringing everybody here is it's been really a thing for me, because I came here sort of, and I stayed for 7 years almost, and I've been waiting for this change. I've been waiting for to make it happen in a way, and I'm very glad it's actually starting to really happen. It's really exciting. It's exciting even for younger actors. They need to be in great movies as well. Of course, Greek movies are wonderful, but it's amazing to mix and be with other people. And a mixed team, for me, it's the best. It's the best because we bring the great thing about, Hollywood, and the beautiful thing about the Mediterranean, and our soul and our spirit. And that brings a lot of magic. That's what I see.
Thank you very much, Dorothea. Quite interesting and exciting what you told us. I think our message to Alexandros and Joseph is that Dorothea, Yelena, and myself are available to star in the next blockbuster movie, whatever the incentives are. We have run out of time, so we don't have time for a full panel discussion. We need to go to a very, very short break, and then Eftichia Pilarinou will be back to introduce the second panel, which is very exciting, about studio development in Greece. So thank you very much all for being here. Off to a short break, and then back to you, Eftichia.
We keep next row.
Back. In our prior panel, we heard of the beautiful films of Ευτυχία, Smyrna, My Beloved, Men of God, and Francesca, filmed in studios, in outdoor built stages, and in picturesque areas of our beautiful Greece. As Mr. Saman said, and the other producers agreed, Greece is an open studio for producers to use. But what about the real studios? Do we have enough, and are they modern enough to accommodate the needs of international large productions? In our panel today, we have very successful studio owners who have also become film and TV producers, and they're here to share their stories. We have with us John Kalafatis, well known to the Greek American community. He's one of us. John is the owner of York Studios in New York and has a new investment in Greece that we're excited to hear about. John Karagas, producer, CEO, and owner of Kappa Studios. Dimitris Evangelopoulos, owner of Alpha Studios and the president of Greek Producers Association. John Karagas, a young novelist, screenwriter, and playwright. We will talk with each one individually, and at the end, they will all come back for a second round of questions. And I would like to start with Mr. John Kalafatis. John is an entrepreneur and business executive with over 35 years of experience, established in developing and leading successful organizations in the construction and entertainment industries. Today, Mr. Kalafatis is investing greatly in the future of the film and television industry with the development of York Studios, Michelangelo Campus, one of New York City's largest film studios located in the Bronx. He's the co-founder and CEO of Los Angeles-based film production company, York Films. He will talk to us about his plans of growing his entertainment activities with further investments in Greece. Mr. Kalafatis, as I mentioned before, is a Greek American, very well known to our community. John, you had a very successful, very long successful business career as an entrepreneur in the construction industry. But in the last few years, you became more and more involved in the audiovisual business, again with great success. Could you tell us what attracted you to the audiovisual business that led you to own your own studios and make your own productions?
Thank you very much for the invite, Americans, the Greek audience. It's always challenging myself. The reason I got into the establishment of York Studios about 10 years ago, its respective success, the excitement of watching other people's productions, renting space in my studio led me to think about getting into production myself and eventually start establishing, which we're in the process now, sound stages and studios in Greece.
Can you tell us more about your York Studios and the new Boiana Hellenic Studios in northern Greece?
New York City is in high demand for productions for all the right reasons, and York Studios in place to accommodate the respective professional needs. Greece is a challenging effort right now with a great potential. I wouldn't be able to make an attempt to establish and invest in Greece, particularly northern Greece, unless the government of Greece, particularly the EKOME Film Office and Panos Kouanis, who is the force behind this incentive and our own program, with the establishment of film offices throughout our territory in Greece. But the catalyst was the opportunity to meet the Lerner family in Los Angeles, very successful in productions under a company called Millennium Productions, and particularly Janis Lerner, who's the CEO of Boiana Films in Sofia, Bulgaria, as well as a co-partner on the Millennium Productions company. Together, we're on the process of constructing some stages in northern Greece, in the outskirts of Thessaloniki. I believe in this not only because I'm Greek American and my roots, because I believe it's a secure deal, while we're enjoying the support of the government, Greece and its respective infrastructure, the quality of its people, the locations, and the attractiveness to Hollywood. It makes it a much easier task. Should I touch upon productions now? I guess we're moving into producing films of high caliber, that is Hollywood productions like The Enforcer that was filmed in Thessaloniki, was completed about a month ago. It's in post right now. Antonio Banderas was the star, as well as Kate Bosworth. Apparently, we were welcome in the city of Thessaloniki. The political spectrum, the residents, all were excited about it, and that made us feel much better for launching a second high-budget film, which is in the process of being filmed in Greece now, called The Enforcer, with stars of the caliber of Jason Statham and Sylvester Stallone. While we producing these films, we're in the process of reconstructing or constructing both our studios in the outskirts of Thessaloniki.
That's big news.
I hope so.
Okay. I want to move on to our next speaker, and I want to thank you, and we will come back with more questions afterwards, after we had a chance to speak to the other producers. And now I'll come to Mr. Janis Karagiannis. Janis Karagiannis is the owner and CEO of JK Production SA, a production company, and Kappa Studios. He graduated from Aristotle University, a Faculty of Engineering, and has an MBA in economics. He brings more than 25 years of business and media experience to this post, as he guides both the largest complex of studios in Greece, Kappa Studios, with 10,000 square meters, 10 sound stages, and production with over 5,000 commercial hours, over 100 TV projects with success, such as this season's Agrias Melises, Wild Honeybees, for the third season in Antenna TV, and Sasmos in Alpha TV.
Yes.
So, Mr. Karagiannis, I'd like to welcome you in our panel. We understand from your introduction that Kappa Studios has a very long and successful history in the independent production business and owns very, very large and modern studio facilities. Could you tell us of the capabilities of Kappa Studios to fulfill the needs of international and domestic film productions?
Yes, thank you for the invitation, first of all. I'm independent producer and the owner of Kappa Studios, as you said. The Kappa Studios is two complexes of studios. One in Sparta, we have 8 sound stages, and the brand new is in Markopoulou. We have 2 big sound stages, 1,600 and 4,000 square meters each one. The area in Sparta is about 40,000 square meters, and the area in Markopoulou, the brand new, close to the airport, is about 60,000 square meters. That means that you can use spaces for backlots also, except studios. We are very proud because our strategic is to bring productions from abroad, American or other productions. And this year happened. We have, as example, the Disney movie, The Greek Freak, The Life of Janis, the NBA player. And the latest, it was the Cronenberg, director Cronenberg film, Crimes of the Future. Ends beginning of September, last September. We are very proud for those productions that participate to the all Greek system EKOME in order to bring from abroad movies or foreign projects. Here in Greece, we have a lot of projects and TV series like Wild Bees, as you said, and Sasmos for Alpha. And we use studios for domestic entertainment projects like reality or shows like Dancing with the Stars, like Voice, like Big Brother, and the famous entertainment projects. This time, I think that, okay, we have a balance between domestic and foreign. For us, it's very important to be able to help all foreign projects to be here in Greece and accept the location and accept the Greek studio, because Greece is a big studio, as you know, because of the climate, because of the people, the know-how. Now also we have another advantage, that we have big studios with international standards, the Kappa Studios. Okay, this is the studio.
I read somewhere that Disney's investment in the production of Hotel Kubo was in the millions of dollars, like 16 million euros, and they employed over 1,200, filming in many areas of Greece and also in your studio. I can imagine, the immense advertisement for our country based on this film. And also we can advertise about the capabilities of the people in Greece who participated in the production.
Yeah.
Now, I would like to go back to Agrias Melises, which is something that has been seen by millions of Greeks in Greece. And I think you have brought with you a small trailer of the movie.
Yes, we are very happy for this. Yes.
If possible, if the studio can show it to us, the trailer.
Παρακαλώ, θα με βάλεις σε μεγάλους μπελάδες. Εδώ είσαι, Δούκα. Τα χωράφια μου δεν τα πουλάω.
Καλούς απογόνους.
Σταμάτα, δεν θέλω έτσι. Είσαι μεθυσμένος.
Ελένη!
Πού είναι η Ελένη? Τι της έκανες?
Δεν πρόλαβα να της κάνω τίποτα. Εκείνη μου έκανε. Παράτησε τον άντρα της την πρώτη νύχτα του γάμου. Γι' αυτό είναι μια ντροπή που δεν την ανέχομαι.
Μη τη συνερίζεσαι.
Εγώ όμως απόψε θα πλαγιάσω με γυναίκα κι ας μην είναι Ελένιο.
Πήγε από πάνω μου! Τι να γίνει!
Από εδώ και πέρα θα κάνεις ό,τι σου λέω εγώ. Αλλιώς δεν θα βγει ζωντανή ούτε εσύ ούτε οι αδερφές σου. Θα σε σκοτώσω. Τι έκανες, μωρή ρουφιάνα? Τέλειωσες, καριόλα.
Μόνο εμείς και ο Θεός ξέρουμε τι έγινε εκείνο το βράδυ.
It's a period drama, crime drama, 1960 in Thessalia, a Greek area, an area in Greece. And it's very popular in Greece. It's about 30-40% are the ratings of this project, and we are very happy. It's the first time that in Greece the sets, the cast, the vision of director, unique. It was unique for Greek audience and for the Greek market. And I think that, I'm sure that the Greek antenna, Greek broadcasters saw the Agrias Melises Wild Bees in Poland this summer.
Okay. I think I'd like to spend one more minute to talk about your new TV series, Sasmos.
Yes, Sasmos.
It's the story of two young people from opposing families who fall in love, and they reawaken the vendetta from years ago in a mountain village in Greece. I want to mention that we're proud to see Maria Jobanaki, who was the director of our Chamber's New York Film Festival,
I know.
and to see her in such a leading role. So can you tell us a little bit about the production of Sasmos? And we have a short trailer too.
Η σφαίρα, άμα φύγει, είναι σαν την κουβέντα. Δεν ματαγυρίζει πίσω. Το κακό έγινε.
Πατέρα!
Γι' αυτά τα χωράφια χύθηκε αίμα.
Ήρθα, μπαμπά.
Σκοτωθήκανε ανθρώποι και εσύ δεν σεβάστηκες τίποτα.
Κλείσαμε. Ρουλάκης με σταματάει, ξεκαλώ να μας βγει. Εγώ αυτά τα θεωρώ ξεφτιλίκια.
Τι πήγες και έκανες?
Ποια νους η κοπέλα μου?
Είμαι η κόρη της Μαρίνας.
Άσε την κόρη μου ήσυχη, σταματάκι!
Πάνε πια αυτά, μάνα. Τόσα χρόνια έχουν περάσει. Ποιος τα θυμάται?
Εγώ είμαι αλλιώς. Εγώ δεν έχω όπλα.
Πάντα να τα μάθα στους ρουλάκιδες!
Σασμός.
Sasmos is based on a Greek bestseller and it's set on the Greek island of Crete, and the story is about vendetta, vendetta in Crete, with traditional people, people and represent, and the audience wants to see the Crete, how they think, and what is vendetta and what is Sasmos. Sasmos is when vendetta stops. I mean, when two people that fight from all time stop it. It's Sasmos in Greek.
Your productions are extremely interesting, but we're pressed for time, so I'd like to go to our next speaker and then try to come back to all of you. The next speaker is Mr. Evangelopoulos, Dimitris Evangelopoulos. Has over 22 years of business experience in the audiovisual industry. He's president of the Greek Producers Association and member of the Hellenic Film Academy. He's the CEO and president of Studio Alpha and Red Line Productions. He's the third generation of film producers and studio facilitators since Studio Alpha has been founded by his family in 1957. Studio Alpha is one of the biggest also studio facilities and the oldest audiovisual company in Greece, in operation for over 65 years, at the time during which has been used many times by foreign producers. As Mr. Evangelopoulos as a producer of Studio Alpha, he has developed a variety of TV programs like music shows, TV series, and documentaries. And in 2014, he founded Red Lines, an independent production. He has already produced 2 feature films. He has in preparation 3 projects for the years 22 and 23, 2 feature films and a TV series. Dimitri, could you tell us a little about Alpha Studios and how the facilities can entice foreign producers?
Thank you for the invitation, Ftihia. I would like to greet all the participants. And I would like to take the opportunity to welcome as well Mr. John Kalafatis to the very close club of studio owners in Greece. And we hope to bring something of the American production in the Greek territory. Studio Alpha has been built in 1957 by my family. I'm the 3rd generation of TV producer and studio owner. And I have to say that before Hollywood tried to rediscover Greece in nowadays. Hollywood found Greece in 1957 with Studio Alpha, because we had the opportunity to host many American productions. Actually, our biggest stage, which is 1,500 square meters, was built especially for the America of Elia Kazan, and many other films of that time, of the 60s, have been shot in Studio Alpha, like Negative Brigade, Angry Hill with Robert Mitchum, and etc., etc. In nowadays, it facilitates mainly for large TV shows and less for filming, because up to the last 2 years, studio was not preferable for film producers to film because of the cost. But nowadays, thanks to EKOME and all that financial efforts that gives, producers have started using studio facilities, like the one of these days uses Mr. Karagas.
Can you show us a small trailer that you have prepared for us?
I would like to show you a small trailer of our latest motion pictures that we have produced. The one is Waiting for Godmother, is the title. It's a comedy shot in Naxos Islands, which promotes the Greek beauty and shows the scenery. And the other is called Charlie. I have the privilege to produce the first colored silent picture in Greece, which is a very nice artistic job. And both of them have traveled around the festivals in the world. And they have actually been chosen by the Emirates to be the ambassador of the films in Greece while they are traveling around the globe. If you are ready, I'll be happy to show it to you.
Για εσένα, δεν είναι ο Ηρακλής.
Τι.
Αγόρι μου, ζήσε! Πάμε να κεράσει μια μπύρα που είσαι ζωντανός.
Κάθε μέρα είμαι ζωντανός, πρέπει να κερνάω μπύρες. Η νονά μου από την Άξο. Μετράει ώρες.
Φύγαμε για Νάξο.
Είστε χρόνια φίλοι με τον Ηρακλή?
Από 12 χρονών παίζαμε μαζί και συνεχίζουμε να παίζουμε.
Τι έγινε ρε παιδιά! Πάμε πάλι!
Thank you, Dimitri. We're a little short of time, so I'm going to move on and then we'll come back. I want to introduce to you Janis Karagas. Janis Karagas is a novelist, screenwriter, and playwright whose work in both English and Greek testifies to his vast engagement with the human condition and empathy. His literary work has been winning awards for years in the United States and Europe. Now he's the co-writer of Faye Lelio's feature film Road Narrows, with executive producers Emma Thompson and George Pelecanos and starring Angela Molina. Yanni, we're very proud of you and we're very interested to hear your views about the audiovisual market in Greece as a young person and a fiction writer in times of global pandemics and recessions. Please give us your comments. We don't have sound. Are you muted?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I think that the pandemic has changed everything. Like a world war, it has imprinted itself on the nation's psyche as it happened across the world. There has been substantial change in the workings of the film industry, publishing scene, the entertainment world. The stability of businesses that were active in the traditional film world has taken a huge hit. And now these businesses kind of have to explore new sustainable business models. And it breaks my heart because this happens in a country which comes from a decade of financial crisis and hardship. My concern is, as a writer, is that when the new normal sets in, the abnormal once again becomes unimaginable. So the question to me is, let's assume that this is the end of the film world as we know it. What will the new world be? And of course, my concern is whether we are prepared to protect the fundamental core of our work. I'm trying to be an optimist. I always use two examples. They both come from the publishing world. First of all, let me remind you that the publishing industry has sustained itself for the last 6 centuries in the Western world. And second of all, I remember a long time ago, I was a student. I remember the concept, the idea of the electronic book. It sounded so fascinating and at the same time so threatening. There were so many publishing professionals who could actually foresee a complete prevalence of the ebook format in reader. And it just didn't happen. And I know perfectly well why it didn't happen, because this has to do with what we are confronting during the crisis, during the pandemic. When we talk about the film industry, when we talk about the product, we don't just talk about the process, the investment, but the money, which are very significant. We also talk about that extraordinary experience, that splendid connection between the audience and the product and the film, the book. No one is ever going to replace that physical pleasure I have when I touch a hardcover book or a paperback. And no one is going to replace that transcendent sense of belonging and place when you go to a cinema or theater. I understand that, and I have experienced that. I understand that the pandemic has caused serious disruptions across the globe. But on the other hand, I need to believe that it is of a temporary nature, and it will sooner or later eventually pass. And
can I ask you a practical question? Do you think that Greece can garner interest from film companies and productions across the world? As the rest of our people, our speakers have expressed?
Well, first of all, probably a producer may be better equipped to answer the question, but as a writer, I do believe that Greece is going to be an international market for productions and a Hollywood filming popular Hollywood filming location outside of the United States. It's the tax rebate incentive. It's the iconic landmarks. It's the rich heritage. But let me say something about how important the National Center of Audiovisual Media and Communication is right now. When we talk about the National Center, it's not just part of the conversation of how things should work. They actually make things work. They actually prove to certain financial groups of professionals whose job is to focus on markets and numbers that the creative powers, the creative professionals in this country are actually profitable. And this is what makes them so important.
Okay. I just want to mention that we recently saw your name as the screenwriter of a new TV series that the EKOME has supported. Αύριο, το αύριο μας ανήκει, or Tomorrow Belongs to Us. And I want to wish you every success on that. I'd like to go back to Mr. Kalafatis, if I may, because we wanted to show pictures of his studios, which we weren't able to do that before. Are we able to do that now, studio? Yes. And Mr. Kalafatis, while we're looking at the pictures, you might like to tell us something about it.
The goal in this particular location outside of Hellenic is to convert existing structures to sound stages and build new ones. In the near future, commencing as we speak, within the next year or so, I'm projecting to have 3 rather large-size sound stages, accommodating the needs of other features. And we have to reconsider if we'll expand the number of stages, and depending of how this business will be developing in Greece, which personally I'm very optimistic about.
I wanted to ask you, what do you think are the prospects for the future of the Greek film industry, and any additional steps that you suggest that need to be taken for its success?
My personal opinion that the government, in particular, EKOME, has done enough, or we looking to more. I think the private sector has to challenge itself, and we all have to get together and understand that we can and use the hands and can work together to provide the supply, particularly the service, and teach the young Greeks not only this exciting new business, particularly in Greece, and create that specializing to keep attracting large and not so large foreign productions.
Mr. Saman mentioned before how wonderful it is to film in Greece, but he also mentioned some weaknesses within the system. Can you give us your own insight about some of these weaknesses that need to be improved?
Bureaucracy is always the issue, but it's not only in Greece. I mean, as private entrepreneurs will like to see things done immediately. My personal experience with the city of Thessaloniki is very positive. I think there's future film there with Piperias. The entire city really helped.
We don't hear you very well. Can you speak closer to your phone, to your mic?
The entire city really helped us there, genuinely and clearly. The only real issue that I personally see in Greece is if the producers that are coming before Greece, multiplying the way I project, we have an issue of training the local people to be able to service these features. And this is something that I believe all the people on the panel that are aware about it, and a lot of us trying to do something about it. EKOME is leading the way of directly training people Right now, some of the people are from Greece, some come from abroad. I think ultimately the goal would be to use local people to assist these productions, and maybe we're a few years away from that. Otherwise, I think, like everybody else says, Greece is and will become an ideal location for digital series.
And a question that we have gotten from the audience, which I don't know who's going to answer, whoever is willing to answer from our producers. The digital production is not fully developed in Greece, but it's a very fast and growing audiovisual sector that could bring further economic activity and create jobs for young people. Is there a plan to invest in digital post-production facilities to process animation, special effects, have virtual productions? So any one of you, go ahead.
The question.
I can hear you very well, Mr.
The question is for me or someone else?
No, you can answer, and then I'll ask the same question for the rest.
To mention something that I have experienced recently, I was in Greece a couple of weeks ago. I would do recommend that the government looks and the local authorities into the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is pretty slow in Greece, and I'm not sure if this is the right panel, but it's a huge issue. And I hope everybody agrees with me, and I think we should focus to increase the speed of the quality of the Wi-Fi. In post-productions right now, there's some facilities in Greece that I'm aware about. The panel, the other people in the panel might know better than me. It's something that we, as Millennium and New Guyana, Hellenic, definitely have it in our immediate plans.
Is there another producer on the panel that would like to say something about this? Digital production?
If I can, yes, can I speak here?
Sure, Dimitri.
Yes. Of course, the digital production, the effects is it's a very cost effective. If we had it in Greece, we're not so much developed on that section. It is also very expensive. So in order to be developed in Greece, we must have the amount of film production and TV shows that will need that kind of facilities and expertise in order to be developed. I hope that with the productions that are going to come to Greece, and with the help of the government and EKOME, that problem will be solved in the near future. But we have facilities and we have laboratories, and which can everybody can work very fine, not in the Hollywood standards, and this is something that we have to work further.
Mr. Karagas, do you intend to invest in such kind of productions?
Yes, our strategic is to give money and put money on digital, but you don't forget that we have 2 years COVID. Don't forget that EKOME is a new for Greek people and for Greek market. That means that EKOME is the main reason for the development in the Greek audiovisual industry. They support Greek producers, and we receive from EKOME motivates up to be more professional and to offer to the audiences better series and better projects. In this strategic, we are going to invest in digital. But okay, we lost 2 years. We have lost 2 years, and now we are ready to do more things. This is my answer.
Okay. I understand we've gone over our time, and I need to wrap up. I want to thank every one of you and wish you every success in your new endeavors. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For taking the time to come and talk to us. Welcome back. Our next panel is Digitization, Gaming, and Education. The moderator of this panel is George Piperias, who was in the coordinating committee of both the Hellenic American Chamber of Commerce and the International Chamber of Commerce, Hellas. George was born and raised in New York and has an MBA from Stern School of Business at New York University. Before moving to Greece, he had a successful career in the securities market in New York and spent time in the European institutions in Brussels. Today, George lives in Greece and has a career in real estate and investment banking. George, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind introduction. My name is George Piperias, and I am the event coordinator for today's digital forum. And I'll also be moderating the third and final panel of the day, where we will discuss several other important efforts that are being made today in the audiovisual sector. These include the digitization of archives, the development of gaming, and as well as educational efforts in the audiovisual field. With us today to discuss these issues are three distinguished guests. Irene Andriopoulou, Head of Research, Studies, and Educational Programs at EKOME. We have Professor Emeritus John Chrysoulakis, who is the Secretary General for Greeks Abroad and Public Diplomacy at the Greek Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And finally, the esteemed Provost of New York University, Dr. Catherine E. Fleming. Let me start by introducing Ms. Irene Andriopoulou, Head of Research, Studies, and Educational Programs at EKOME. Irene will present us with more details regarding the actions being undertaken by two pillars of EKOME. These are digitization and education. Irene, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, George. Thank you for the invitation today. It's an honor to be to this distinguished audience. So good morning, good evening, good afternoon.
Irene, in our first two panels, we heard from important producers, studio heads, actors, and even writers regarding their experiences filming in Greece, what they are looking for going forward in order to better develop the film and TV industries within Greece. Besides the focus on film, TV, and advertising, however, there are significant parallel efforts going on regarding education, gaming, and the digitization of archives. Let's start the conversation with digitization.
Yes.
One of the pillars of EKOME is the concerted effort for digitization, and specifically the digitization of media archives. Irene, can you tell us more about this?
Yes. We are thrilled to be working on the digitization and education, which both are the content of the Directorate of Digital Content Development and Management of EKOME. So educate and digitize are the two melting pots of EKOME. And content is the key feature of the digital era and today's digital convergence. So we approach content in multiple forms, as audiovisual production and investment, as you mentioned, through gaming, as digital apps, video on demand, video sharing platforms. So to this end, EKOME is based in this triple system that engages the producer, the content, and the audience in a circular and interactive way. Digitization is a focus point, a pillar of here in Greece, because we activate the audiovisual national preservation policy through a digital infrastructure and the audiovisual national depository. So what do we mean by that? We work on building an infrastructure on an audiovisual archives registry that will contain film works, TV products, animation, gaming, even student creations. Also, we work on the National Catalogue of Audiovisual Works, on the Center for Conservation and Digitization, and our innovation is the formation of a student creations, student works repository, where it will be available for use as open educational resources in typical and non-typical education. So in details, we will have short films made by children, gaming products made by children, and digital content. And this will be available for educational reasons in Greece and abroad. And we're also open to design other educational programs and projects in the Greek community and abroad through the exchange of archival material, partnerships, and research. So the upper goal is to reach all Greeks abroad through our national cultural audiovisual heritage, to reinforce our historical memory abroad, and to promote Greek culture through archival research. I will just mention two highlights in the field of digitization. The recent agreement with TV station TV Ekato in Thessaloniki during the 85th Thessaloniki International Fair. So we had an agreement with the aim of digitizing the audiovisual archive, which dates back to the 80s until 2021. We also had a recent agreement with the film department of the School of Fine Arts of the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki, focusing on the professional training and evolution of the students in the form of a 5-year memorandum. And also the result of this constant cooperation of EKOME with the film offices, and especially of the region of Central Macedonia and the municipality of Thessaloniki, they're also reflected in this ever-increasing demand that the region receives for the shooting of big-scale productions in northern Greece. So that is our main field of action in the terms of digitization.
Great. It sounds like a very important project, especially the digital archives and the library that you are creating of these media archives. I think that it's something that future generations of Greeks, both within Greece and throughout the diaspora, will benefit from to learn more about obviously Greece's history and their ancestors. As a follow-up question, is this something that you will be extending to the Greek diaspora and accepting basically media from them as well?
Once the repository is completed, because it is a long-term and a very ambitious project, once it is completed, it will address all Greeks in Greece, in Greek diaspora, all over the globe. They will be accessible through a central information system, and once the copyrights are also cleared, then they will be available mainly for educational use, for research, for all the Greeks to get to know Greek history through the National Archives. So yes, it will be available.
Great. Let's shift gears now and talk about education, the other pillar of EKOME. What is the main focus of EKOME through its pillar Educate? Can you give us some highlights of your actions in the field of education?
Yes, I'm very glad to do it, because here at EKOME, we like to think that media and digital education is the founding element lying behind all the actions of EKOME in production and archiving policy. So we work in the field of education. First of all, we pursue media and information literacy, national policy, and lifelong learning infrastructure. And we have a multi-stakeholder approach in that. It is based actually in 3 fields of actions. So we approach basic skills in media education and production, technical skills, advanced skills, which have to do with the critical analysis of the content and disinformation and assessment and evaluation of all the media messages, and vocational skills, which that has the direct links with the creative industry. To this end, the target group is children, students, parents, typical education and non-typical education, media students and the academia, media professionals in practice and in service, all the media policy stakeholders, internet service providers in terms of safeguarding users' rights and access to the internet in the digital media environment in accordance with the EU regulation, and also social minorities like users with disabilities. Our main actions, we are a global media and information literacy stakeholder, and we work closely with UNESCO and the European Commission. Our partnership with UNESCO actually has as a focal point the annual Global Media and Information Literacy Week that takes place the last week of October annually. And it is proclaimed as official by 193 countries all over the globe. In this context, we also coordinate the Mediterranean group of UNESCO Media Alliance voluntary network. We also have a leading international and national network with the creative industry, the educational and media stakeholders in terms of media literacy. And we also focus on the lifelong learning, the lifelong training of media professionals in terms of upskilling and reskilling to boost the digital production skills in the new demanding productions environment. So we offer internships like the Nuboyana paid internship, which was a partnership in Bulgaria as part of the Universal Studios. So we had some paid internship for Greek students to go there and train to the high demand international high scale productions. We offer student grants, scholarships, masterclass, educational programs in Greece and abroad.
Great. You answered my next question, which was basically which, if you offer scholarships going forward or grants for students. One of the, the questions or issues that were mentioned by some of the producers that want to do productions in Greece was the need for, for trained professionals, and Greece has taken a very big step forward with relation to this, but there's always a gap that needs to be closed. As a follow-up question, which Greek universities or private schools offer these types of related classes? Are they enough, or is it something that Greek professionals will need to look to overseas universities?
Actually, I would like to mention that we focus on the training of media professionals, both at entry level young media professionals, but also experience, like the film to script with the Mediterranean Film Institute master classes in Isiros every summer. These are addressed to highly experienced professionals, but we also have projects for the entry level to help them, to feel more well training and more in line with the new trends in media productions. So yes, in EKOME here, we also are conducting an in-house research on private and public universities that deal with audiovisual and digital media production. And the numbers are quite impressive. We have 12 universities that have dedicated faculties on audiovisual media productions. In the private sector, we have over 80 private universities, colleges, schools that also offer practical education to the audiovisual media, new trends. So there is also one field that we see that is also constantly development, has to do with game-based professions and education. So many new specialties that even we are not fully aware of are constantly on the rise and constantly developing in order, to create this new gaming also professional community in Greece to be able to keep up with the global trends.
I understand. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I just wanted to mention that we're also conducting webinars and seminars and conferences in cooperation with the stakeholders.
Great. With regards to gaming, I saw that there was a competition last year within the Greek schools for board games for kids of all ages. That was a very big success. Can you tell us a little bit about that and let us know if it's in the plans to happen again this year?
It is definitely the plans, because this is an action and a project that we're particularly proud of. And it started in a very difficult school year, in a school lockdown last year in Greece. So we were being very skeptical, but both at the same time, very committed to start this gaming competition. Let me share the screen for a while, just to show you some pictures. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna have the full
There you go.
beginning. So this is the first international student competition for the creation of board and digital games in schools. It is about game-based creation and learning in the classroom to cultivate the culture, you know, behind gaming. So it addresses students of primary and secondary education grades in Greece and abroad, and it is under the auspices of the region of Attica. The school reference was to create board games and digital games based on the course of history in Greece. And for the school year 2021, that was a difficult year, as I described, we received 28 contributions, exceptional student work about historical issues, games for entertaining, but games for learning also. And this impressive amount of response indicates that students are more than willing to experiment with the digital media, with storytelling, with creating unique gaming scenarios for both board and digital game. This is an interactive map that we created at EKOME and shows all the areas, the places, the cities in Greece that we received the contributions from the schools. This competition received an enthusiastic reception, both from by the educational community and the gaming community and the state and the audience at large. So we have an ongoing demand for continuing this competition for the second year, and it is definitely on our plans.
Great. That's a fantastic effort that you guys.
These are all the board games that the children created, even schools of special needs. This was created by schools of special needs, which was quite amazing. So historical issues addressed either in the forms of trivial or strategic games, video games. As you can see, we also produced a handbook, which is in Greek. I don't know if you can see it. It is also available to download it from our website. It is an exceptional work that it is very helpful for the educators to help to guide them around. So
that's a great effort, and it's a very smart way to get the kids to be creative and interactive, and obviously from what I saw, most of these board games had to do with Greece's history, so it's a great educational tool for them as well. And I congratulate you on the success of this effort. Irina, I want to thank you very much for providing the insight into EKOME's ongoing efforts regarding digitization, gaming, and education. We're out of time now, but keep up the good work and best of luck going forward.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time. We're available for any questions you may have. Feel free to get in touch with us. You have all our contact details, and we're happy to work with you.
Irene, thank you again.
Thank you. Bye.
For our next speaker, I'd like to introduce Professor Emeritus John Chrysoulakis, Secretary General for Greeks Abroad and Public Diplomacy in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Hellenic Republic, who has pre-recorded a message for us and will present the initiatives that the General Secretariat for Greeks Abroad is undertaking regarding digitization, gaming, and education.
Dear friends, Greece boasts one of the oldest cinematic traditions in Europe. Groundbreaking and innovative, Greek cinema has been, over the last years, the mirror of a society that meditates on the conditions of its existence. Cinema, a fruit of the Greek spirituality, has gained increasing recognition and influence. The General Secretariat of Greeks Abroad and Public Diplomacy supports cultural production that enhances the dialogue and communication of cultures, and cinema is a privileged area for cultural dialogue. The General Secretariat for Greeks Abroad and Public Diplomacy wishes to endorse this effort within the framework of its institutional competence. Cinema is a field that has a lot of potential for Greek economy. There are many factors that turn Greece into a filming destination on the rise: the climate and its light, its versatile architecture and breathtaking locations, as well as its qualified industry. Recognizing the significant contribution of the audiovisual sector to a country's economy, Greece introduced a cash rebate system providing investment incentives for audiovisual productions, as my friend Panos Kouanis has already mentioned. Public diplomacy is a significant soft power mechanism that, thanks to new technologies and social media progress, is growing more useful to our country's effort to promote its new image to the international public. It's a horizontal policy that supports all types of diplomacy, such as economic, parliamentary, cultural, educational, and, of course, classical diplomacy. Our strategic vision is the continuous promotion of our country to the international public, that is, of our cultural values and our strong points, which in turn will contribute to the promotion of the Greek brand globally. At the same time, we aim at our effective communication with Greeks abroad, the support of Greek heritage and values in any part of the world, and the promotion of important issues that concern our country with the help of the Greek diaspora. In this context, one of our most promising and fruitful initiatives concerns the diffusion of the Greek language and civilization. Its title is Στα Ελληνικά, and it is a digital platform for learning the Greek language and culture. Στα Ελληνικά is an initiative of the Secretary General for Greeks Abroad and Public Diplomacy at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in collaboration with Stavros Niarchos Foundation Center for Hellenic Studies at Simon Fraser University, with the support of the Stavros Niarchos Foundation. And why do I mention it in this forum? It is because it combines moving image, animation and gaming in an innovative online educative platform that enables learning Greek through a play-centric method. Currently, the final version of the mobile application is available for iOS and Android devices, phone and tablets, while we can support a very large number of users. We already have 32,000 registered pupils and students in 157 countries, and the platform has been introduced in all Greek schools in North America, the United States and Canada. It will soon be available to schools in the United Kingdom and Australia, and its Spanish and Portuguese versions are imminent and expected with great interest. The platform was recently enriched also with an 8-module course about Greek mythology designed for children aged 8 years. We are also collaborating with National Center of Audiovisual Media and Communication, that is EKOME. The second international student competition for the creation of board and digital games will take place under the auspices of the General Secretariat for Greece Abroad and Public Diplomacy. We collaborate with a broad network of schools abroad, and through that network we plan to help Greek expat students of primary schools and secondary schools abroad to participate in this competition that aims to disseminate media and cutting-edge technology literacy. For us, in the General Secretariat for Greece Abroad and Public Diplomacy, cinema is a cultural asset of great value, and we are open to various synergies and collaborations to help promote it abroad. That's why we wish to congratulate you for organizing this event, to which we gladly offered our auspices.
Thank you, Professor Chrysoulakis, for your insight regarding the initiatives of the General Secretariat for Greeks Abroad. The Stalinika initiative especially I applaud you for this initiative. I think it's very important for the Greek diaspora to learn the Greek language at a more advanced level. I personally can speak firsthand from my experiences as a Greek American born and raised in the US, how my advanced grasp of the language has helped me greatly throughout my life. I think it's a great initiative that will essentially only serve to bring the Greek language closer to the diaspora, and it's going to be done in a fun and innovative way. Let's play a small video now describing the Stalinika program.
Μια φορά και έναν καιρό, σε μια μακρινή γωνιά της Ευρώπης, ζούσαν οι Ρωμιοί. Κατοικούσαν ανάμεσα στα ερείπια ενός λαμπρού παρελθόντος και γνώριζαν ότι είχαν μια ένδοξη ιστορία. Άλλωστε, είχαν πάρει το όνομά τους από τη Ρωμαϊκή Αυτοκρατορία, την οποία και κυβερνούσαν μέχρι και την εποχή του Κολόμβου. Επιπλέον, μιλούσαν μια γλώσσα με καταβολές υψηλού πολιτισμού και λογοτεχνίας, την οποία θαύμαζαν και σπούδαζαν άτομα με επιρροή στον ευρωπαϊκό χώρο, αλλά και πέρα από αυτόν. Την εποχή που τους συναντάμε, αυτοί οι Ρωμαίοι του 19ου αιώνα ζούσαν κάτω από ξένη κυριαρχία. Μια πανίσχυρη αυτοκρατορία, η οποία ακόμα εξουσίαζε ένα μεγάλο τμήμα του κόσμου, τους κυβερνούσε για 400 χρόνια. Αλλά ο κόσμος που περιστοίχιζε αυτή τη μικρή γωνιά της Ευρώπης άρχισε να αλλάζει. Οι άνθρωποι οραματίζονταν νέες ιδέες και πολλοί Ευρωπαίοι ψέλιζαν τις λέξεις ελευθερία, δικαιώματα και λογική. Οι Ρωμιοί της εποχής αυτής, που ταξίδευαν τον κόσμο όπως έκαναν πάντα οι προγονείς τους, άρχισαν να θαυμάζουν αυτές τις ιδέες και να αναγνωρίζουν σε αυτές το DNA της αρχαίας τους κληρονομιάς, μιας κληρονομιάς που είχε δημιουργηθεί πριν καν τους προσετερεστεί η Ρώμη. Αυτοί οι Ρωμιοί της Διασποράς, εμπνευσμένοι από τις ιδέες της ελευθερίας και της αυτοδιάθεσης, άναψαν μια φλόγα στη φαντασία των συμπατριωτών τους που έμεναν σε αυτή τη μακρινή γωνιά της Ευρώπης. Αυτή η φλόγα έγινε φωτιά και, σύντομα, επανάσταση. Όταν έγινε αυτό, η γη της Ελλάδας έγινε για ακόμη μια φορά το θέατρο της Ευρώπης. Σε αυτό το νέο ιστορικό δράμα πρωταγωνίστησε ο μικρός αυτός λαός, ο οποίος ξεσηκώθηκε ενάντια στην πανίσχυρη αυτοκρατορία. Όταν το έκανε, η Ευρώπη άρχισε να τον προσέχει. Μερικές από τις κυβερνήσεις της, που εξουσίαζαν αυτοκρατορίες και βασίλεια, ήταν καχύποπτες ή ακόμα και εχθρικές απέναντί του. Αλλά υπήρξαν και άλλοι που αγκάλιασαν τους Ρωμιούς. Διανοητές, ποιητές και επαναστάτες ήρθαν για να υποστηρίξουν τους Ρωμιούς, εμπνεόμενοι όχι μόνο από το θάρρος τους, αλλά και από τον πολιτισμό της αρχαίας Ελλάδας και την ανάμνηση του μεγαλείου της. Ακόμα και μακρινά έθνη που πρόσφατα είχαν παλέψει για την ελευθερία τους, όπως ο λαός της Αητής στην Καραϊβική, εξέφρασαν την αλληλεγγύη τους στον αγώνα των Ρωμιών για την ελευθερία. Γράφτηκαν λοιπόν φιλελεύθερα συντάγματα που οραματίζονταν ένα λαό ελεύθερο και δόθηκαν σκληρές μάχες. Και ενώ ήρθε διχόνοια και η δύναμη της πανίσχυρης αυτοκρατορίας σχεδόν κατέπνιξε τον αγώνα αυτού του μικρού έθνους, το ειδικό βάρος του πολιτισμού που στο παρελθόν έλαμψε σε τούτο το τόπο κίνησε την Ευρώπη. Η επανάσταση των ομοιών σχεδόν εξέπνευσε, αλλά στο τέλος γεννήθηκε ένα ελεύθερο έθνος σε αυτή τη μικρή γωνιά της Ευρώπης, βοηθούμενο από τους Ρωμίους της Διασποράς, τους ξένους συμμάχους και τη δύναμη του πολιτισμού του. Και έτσι οι Ρωμαίοι των Βαλκανίων που μιλούσαν ελληνικά αναγεννήθηκαν ως Έλληνες και επανασυνδέθηκαν με τη σεβαστή κληρονομιά τους. Αυτή άλλωστε ήταν που τους έδωσε την ελευθερία τους.
I now have the honor of introducing Dr. Catherine E. Fleming, Provost of New York University since 2016. A historian, she is also the Alexander S. Onassis Professor of Hellenic Culture and Civilization. Internationally, she has served as president of the board of the University of Piperias, Greece, from 2012 to 2016, and ran the Remarque Institute in Paris, France, from 2007 to 2011. Her work has won several prizes, among them the National Jewish Book Award and the Runciman Award. She was granted honorary Greek citizenship by the Hellenic Republic in 2015, and in 2019, France elected her to the Legion d'Honneur. She holds a doctorate from the University of California, Berkeley, an MA from the University of Chicago, and a BA from Columbia University in Comparative Religion, and has been given honorary degrees by PAMAC and Ionian University in Greece. Catherine, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you.
How can young professionals in the film industry, recent graduates of Greek universities and technical schools, enrich their knowledge? What about further training overseas at places like NYU?
So obviously, it's a great thing to do after you've done your studies in Greece to go elsewhere, the United States among them, to further your training and to get internationalized. As you no doubt know, one of the challenges of doing this is making sure that you don't then stay in the place that you go to. Greece, understandably, has been very worried about what we call brain drain. So what we really need are programs that are built in part on the premise of the return back to Greece after time has been spent overseas. And I think that usually people focus only on one side of this. They focus on, how can we get people access to universities and programs outside of Greece? And that's a great thing, but that should be accomplished in the framework of some sort of partnership with entities also in Greece that will guarantee employment or internships or work on the back end after time has been spent outside of Greece.
That makes sense. What are the advantages of what are the obstacles to such partnerships and how can we overcome them?
Well, specifically in the instance of the United States, I would say there are two major obstacles. The first of them is financial. Obviously, there is a huge cost differential between undertaking study at American institutions, even public institutions, and undertaking study at Greek institutions, where the state regards it as its responsibility to make sure that educational opportunities are available more or less free of charge. And that is certainly not the case in the United States. So the first obstacle is definitely a big financial one. As you know, a year at a private American institution costs about $50,000. And there we're not even talking about eating and sleeping somewhere. That's just the didaktra, the cost of the actual fees to be there. So the first challenge is to come up with ways to offset that, either through scholarship programs or through partnerships that involve a host university agreeing to waive some of that cost. And then I would say that the other big challenge is figuring out how to give people time abroad in a framework that matches up with what they've been doing beforehand. They're not just stepping into somebody else's academic program for a semester or for a year, but that they're actually engaged in something that is going to connect up in a meaningful way to things that they have already learned and that is going to be a kind of organic part of their progression to a professional career.
Great. And what are the advantages of international education and training, and how might the Greek film industry benefit from these advantages?
Yeah, I can speak to that both generally and then specifically. Obviously, there are all sorts of documented ways in which international education is hugely important. It's important in terms of the networks that you form. It's important, very important in terms of seeing how things are done elsewhere. And if we're talking specifically about the film industry, which this event is all about, for better or for worse, increasingly the film industry is in many ways an American industry. Lots of the norms for it are set by the United States. Again, we can debate whether that's a good or a bad thing, but it does mean that if you're interested in having a career in this industry, that having exposure to various American practices and norms is a really, really important thing.
Of course. When can we expect you in Greece?
I'm in Greece very, very frequently for work, and I'm hoping before too many more years go by to be there on, if not a full-time basis, at least a half-time one.
Great. I don't think there's anything better than having the six month ability between Greece and the States. I think it's something that all Greek Americans or lovers of Greece strive for.
Yep. And higher education is a good way to do it.
Absolutely. Let's hope that in the future we can create some partnerships between large American universities such as NYU. I personally am an NYU graduate as well. I graduated from Stern back in 2000. So I have a fond place in my heart for NYU. And we can help Greek young professionals develop their skills and then come back and offer positive contributions to Greece.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure to speak to an NYU alum and always a pleasure to scheme about how to create more of them.
Thank you. I'll do my best. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us today and to answer these really important questions and give us some insight about NYU and its programs. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Best of luck.
Thank you, Catherine. Take care.
This concludes our third and final panel of the day, Digitization, Gaming, and Education. I'd like to thank again our three speakers, Ms. Irene Andriopoulou from EKOME, Secretary General for Greeks Abroad, Professor Emeritus John Chrysoulakis, as well as Dr. Catherine E. Fleming, Provost of New York University. And now for our closing remarks, Ms. Eftichia Pilarinou Piper. Thank you.
Dear friends and members of the Hellenic American Chamber of Commerce and the International Chamber of Commerce in Greece. Without any doubt, the creation of the National Center of Audiovisual Media and Communications, as well as the new laws that provide investment incentives through the cash rebates and the tax incentives, they play a very important role for the growth of the Greek economy and the creation of thousands of jobs that are so much needed, especially for our young people. The expansion of the audiovisual industry creates economic activity that has multiplier effects. We see growth spilling over to a wide range of industries, spanning from tourism, hospitality, food and beverage, transportation, as well as the financial and consulting sectors, and expanding to states, construction and customs and much more. We want to congratulate the president of EKOME, Panos Kouanis, and all the officers and staff of EKOME for a job superbly done, and to wish them many more successes that have such a positive effect for our motherland, Greece. We also want to thank them for thinking of the Greek diaspora in the United States as they decided to include our Greek schools in their competition, as you mentioned before, and their competition for video and table games for young students from elementary to high school. I want to thank, on behalf of the Hellenic American Chamber of Commerce and the International Chamber of Commerce in Greece, all the amazing speakers from the audiovisual industry, as well as our distinguished guests, Professor Chrysoulakis, the Mayor of Athens, Mr. Bakoyannis, and Consul General Dr. Koutras, for their participation in this event and all the insights that they were willing to share with our audience. I also would like to thank the director of the Hellenic American Chamber of Commerce, Ms. Alexandra Spiroumitsakis, for her hard work, and the members of the Hollywood in Greece Organizing Committee, Marcos Darkotos, the former president of HAC, who was there when we first started talking about this forum, Nancy Papaioannou, Clay Maitland, John Stratakis, and Anthony Kontomichalos. The support of our sponsors was highly appreciated and has helped this forum to become a success. Many thanks to them. And now I would like to call upon our president, the president of the Hellenic American Chamber of Commerce, Athens, to close this event. It has been a pleasure for me to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Eftichia. And I just would like to echo Eftichia's remarks and thank everyone involved. It's been such an interesting and comprehensive presentation. My quick takeaway is that two main things: the validation of artists and producers who have actually done work in Greece, and the stable structure of the effort that the government has set up there. Those are the two most important things to draw dollars, to draw investment, because they know that the producers like it there and can work there, and the government is protecting their investment with the structure that's set up. So I think we learned a lot about that today, and I think that should be a real encouragement for anyone interested in getting involved, either as an investor or as a creator or producer. And I would like, again, thank everyone involved. And yes, that's all. Please reach out if you want to our viewers to connect with the Hellenic American Chamber of Commerce and become members. We would welcome everyone from all walks of industry and culture, and also to ICC. Please reach out to ICC as well to join them and support them. And then thank you very much for your presence today.